Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Preeti Sharma from Commerce Department, CBSA, CBC Ghana. Today we will learn about indifference curve. Now, indifference curve is consumer behavior theory. This is an improved version of utility analysis. You might have heard about utility analysis, that in utility analysis, we measure consumer satisfaction with the cardinal numbers like 1, 2, 3. In utility analysis, we have learned that a satisfaction from a commodity will go on decreasing as we will consume more and more units of a commodity. And that can be measured in cardinal numbers, like if I am consuming water, then from first glass of water I will get 10 newtons of utility, from second it will be 8, from next it may be 6, it may be 4, and at one point it will become 0. But later on, indifference curve has improved this analysis of consumer behavior. According to indifference curve, consumption of a product is related to our psychology. We can't express this in numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. We can arrange it in order. Like from first cup of water, my satisfaction was more. From second, satisfaction was less, and so on. So we can say that indifference curve is an improved version of utility analysis. Now, how its name, why this is called indifference curve, or what's the meaning of indifference curve, why we call it indifference. Actually, indifference curve is all graphical representation of our satisfactions. So, indifference curve is a curve which shows combination of two goods from which consumer will derive same level of satisfaction. Like this is a curve. This is a curve I see. Here on x-axis we have a x commodity. On y-axis we have y commodity. This is a graphical representation of combination of two goods, x commodity and the y commodity. Now, if a consumer is consuming this much, this combination, OY of y commodity and OX amount of x commodity. Say this is combination A. From combination A, consumer is achieving a given number of given amount of satisfaction. Then, if he wants to increase x, then he will sacrifice y. For x, he will sacrifice y commodity by this amount. By this y and y1 amount, he will decrease y and will increase x commodity. So the satisfaction from B and A will be equal, because to get one commodity, he has sacrificed an amount of another commodity. So what is indifference curve? Indifference curve is a graphical representation of y and x commodity. We can take an example of apple and orange. So this curve represents combination of apples and oranges, which gives same level of satisfaction. All the combination on same curve gives same level of satisfaction from A and B. Level of satisfaction will remain same, because if consumer is increasing x, then he has sacrificed y. We can say this, that indifference curve is based on marginal rate of substitution. Now, what is marginal rate of substitution? Same that I have explained right now. The rate at which one commodity must be added when other is taken away, to keep the individual indifferent between all the combinations. Consumer is indifferent means he is not giving preference to A combination over B or B over A. He is having same satisfaction from A and B, so he is indifferent. He is not giving any preference to any one combination. So it means indifference curve is is representing same level of satisfaction. Now this is the table. Here we are showing the combinations A, B, C and D. In combination A, consumer is having 1 orange and 10 apples. In B, 2 oranges, 6 apples. C, 3 oranges, 3 apples. Means he is increasing number of oranges. Meanwhile, he is decreasing number of apples. Consumer has decreased number of apples. Now see what is the rate of decrease of apples to get the oranges. This is diminishing rate. For one orange, he has sacrificed 4 apples. Then again for 1 orange, he has sacrificed 3 oranges. 3 apples. Then again for 1 orange, he has sacrificed 2 apples. So the rate of decrease of apple for orange will go on diminishing. That's why we say that indifference curve is based on diminishing marginal rate of substitution. If we are increasing one commodity, we will decrease another, but at diminishing rate. Now why at diminishing rate? Because if we are increasing x, here x is orange. If we are increasing oranges, utility derived from each extra orange will go on diminishing. So the sacrifice for orange will also decrease. Like earlier we have learned utility, when we have learned utility analysis, we have learned that each extra unit, additional unit will give us less marginal utility than the previous one. So here from extra orange, marginal utility is less. So sacrifice for orange will be also less. That's why the rate of decrease of apple for orange will go on diminishing. Like if I will draw next combination, then here y will be less. Sacrifice of y will be less for x, same amount of x. That's why curve will be of convex shape. We will do this next in properties. Now what is indifference map? Now map is when we are representing set of indifference curves. Like here I am drawing another indifference curves. This will be the map of indifference curve. So what is map? Map is set of indifference curves, or when we are showing more than one indifference curve in a graph, that will be indifference map. Now in indifference map, higher indifference curve represents high level of satisfaction and lower indifference curve represents low level of satisfaction. Now here again that I have drawn, this is in diagram that it's a set of indifference curves. As we are moving towards right, satisfaction will go on increase. When we are moving towards left, satisfaction will go on decreasing. So set of indifference curve is indifference map. Now next, assumptions. Assumptions of indifference curve is, first is consumer is rational. We always assume in economics that consumer is rational. He spends after thinking and his thinking is rationalized. Ordinal utility, we can measure satisfaction in ordinal numbers only, like we can express our satisfaction greater or lesser, not in cardinal numbers 1, 2, 3. We can't express in numbers like I have derived satisfaction of 10 Newton, of 8 Newton. No, we can't express like this. We will arrange in order. We will arrange our preference in order. First order, second order, third order. Now next is non-sighting. Now non-sighting is there will be a no point of maximum satisfaction. Like in utility analysis, we have done that there will be a point of maximum satisfaction. But here in indifference curve there is a no point of maximum satisfaction. ये दिल मांगे more. We always prefer more to the less. Now next is diminishing marginal rate of substitution that we have already discussed. that to increase one commodity, consumer will decrease another, because satisfaction level should be same. If we are getting more and more by not sacrificing anything, then our satisfaction level will increase. We are getting one thing and we are not sacrificing anything for that, then it means we are going in better position. So to remain at same position, we have to sacrifice one thing to get another, and that rate will be diminishing. So indifference curve, it is based on diminishing marginal rate of substitution. To increase one commodity, consumer have to decrease another, but at diminishing rate. Next is consistency in selection. Consistency in selection is like if I am preferring one set of good over another set of good. Okay, then my preference will remain same. If I am preferring A then B, then I will never prefer B than A. That will remain same. Next is transitivity. Now, what is transitivity? Transitivity is like from combination A and from combination B, I am getting same satisfaction. And from combination B and from combination C, again I am getting same satisfaction. So it means A is equal to B and B is equal to C. Then A must be equal to C. That we have all learned in mathematics. That again I am repeating it in different way. That if A is greater than B and B is greater than C, then obviously A must be greater than C too. Now next are the properties of indifference curve. There are 7 properties. Now first property of indifference curve is indifference curve is always convex to origin. Now let me explain this. Indifference curve is always convex to origin. If it is not convex, then it may be concave or it may be concave or it may be horizontal or it may be vertical. These may be the shapes of indifference curve. Like here in this slide we can see if this is not convex, then it may be vertical, horizontal or upward sloping. So first property of indifference curve is that indifference curve is always downward sloping. Right? Now if indifference curve is vertical, then why this is wrong? Why this is wrong? Because here we are increasing the quantity of one commodity and another quantity of another commodity is constant. Like here is a quantity of gallons of gasoline. Here I have taken the number of CDs. Now the number of CD is increasing, but the gallons of gasoline are constant. So satisfaction from B will be more than A because number of commodities is increasing. We have already discussed this, that to increase one commodity, we have to decrease another. But here we are increasing one commodity and keeping another commodity constant. Again, why indifference curve cannot be horizontal to x-axis? Because here also we have now kept the number of CDs constant and we are increasing the gallons of gasoline. So here again satisfaction from B is greater than A. Okay? Here also satisfaction from B is greater than A. So we are increasing this commodity, keeping this constant. So the level of satisfaction is increasing, but it should be constant. That's why this is not right shape of indifference curve. Now what's the problem in this curve? Here both the commodities are increasing. Like at point A, this is the combination. Okay, we are consuming 1 unit of both the commodities, and again we have increased 1 and 1 unit of both the commodities, series and the gasolines. So obviously we have here also we have not sacrificed anything. So satisfaction from B is greater than A because we have not sacrificed one commodity. Even we are getting both the commodities more. So we are in better position. That's why this is not an indifference curve. Right type of indifference curve will be this. When we are to increase one commodity, we are decreasing another. Here I am increasing X commodity and for that we have decreased Y commodity. So the level of satisfaction will remain same. So this is the first property of indifference curve. Now what is the second property of indifference curve? Second property of indifference curve is that it is always convex to the origin. It will not be concave and it cannot be a straight line. It will be always convex to the origin. Now, if it is concave, then concave shape is like this. This is a concave shape of indifference curve. Here we have X commodity and here we have Y commodity. I am repeating it again. This is concave shape, X commodity and Y commodity. Now why this is wrong shape of indifference curve? If I will show combinations here, this is combination A, X commodity and Y commodity. Now this is combination of B, X commodity and Y commodity. Now what the third combination is showing that to increase one commodity we have sacrificed more than the previous one, which is wrong. We can't sacrifice more. We can't sacrifice more because indifference curve is based on diminishing marginal rate of substitution. But here marginal rate of substitution is increasing. I am drawing it again. Like see, now it is concave to the origin. This curve is concave to the origin. And what this is showing that sacrifice is increasing at each step. So it should be diminishing. Here marginal rate of substitution is increasing, but it should be diminishing. Like here marginal rate of substitution is decreasing. See this. For the same amount, in previous sacrifice was more in previous combination, and in next combination sacrifice has decreased. So this is the right shape because here marginal rate of substitution is decreasing. Now if I am drawing straight line, what's the problem in straight line? Here marginal rate of substitution will be equal to 1. To increase one commodity, I am sacrificing 1. Okay, here MRS is equal to 1. Again, this cannot be indifference curve because this rate should be diminishing. It should not be 1. Yes, it can be 1 if there are perfect substitutes. Like here I am taking Pepsi and here on y-axis I am taking Coke. Then this may be equal to 1 because Pepsi and Coke are perfect substitutes. But if the combinations or the commodities are not perfect substitute, then there should be a diminishing marginal rate of substitution only. It's an exceptional case when MRS is equal to 1. This is the second property. Now moving towards third property of indifference curve. That is, indifference curves cannot cross. Now, why these cannot cross? These are two indifference curves and these are crossing at point B. Why? Why this is wrong? Because this is violating the assumption of transitivity. Now, what was the assumption of transitivity? The assumption of transitivity was that if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A must be equal to C. Now, what is here? Like we know at same indifference curve, satisfaction level will be same. Now we have two indifference curves, IC1 and IC2, right? On IC1 we have 2 points A and B. It means satisfaction from A must be equal to satisfaction from B because lies on same curve. These are lying on same curve. Now on IC1, okay, these are lying on IC2. On IC1, we have again 2 points C and B. C and B on IC1. It means satisfaction from C is equal to D. According to the assumption of indifference curve, definition of indifference curve, same curve, same level of satisfaction. Now it means if C is equal to B and A is equal to B, then A and C must be equal. But here A and C are not equal because C lies on higher curve, so satisfaction from C is more and satisfaction from A is less. That's why it will be wrong to cross two indifference curves because this is violating the assumption of transitivity. It's not fulfilling the assumption of transitivity. Now coming to the next property of indifference curve, that is higher indifference curve represents high level of satisfaction. This is first indifference curve. We have already discussed in indifference map that this is IC and this is IC1. IC1 is high curve, IC is low curve. Here I am having X commodity and here I am having Y commodity. Satisfaction from IC1 will be greater and IC will be less because number of commodities will be more on IC1 than IC. More the number of commodities, more will be the satisfaction. So higher indifference curve represents higher level of satisfaction. Next property of indifference curve is indifference curve neither touch OX axis nor OY axis. Now, suppose I have touched this. Why this will be wrong? X commodity, Y commodity. Now, what this diagram is representing? This is representing that I am purchasing only Y commodity by OA amount and I am not consuming X commodity. I am purchasing 0 amount of X and OA amount of Y commodity. And what is the definition of indifference curve? Definition of indifference curve is indifference curve represents combination of two goods. Here we are not making any combination, so this will be wrong to touch indifference curve with the either of the axes. Now next property of indifference curve is indifference curve may or may not be parallel to each other. If we are increasing the commodities, both the commodities on the constant rate, then it will be parallel. If we are not increasing at the constant rate, then this may be not parallel. Now, last property of indifference curve is IC fails to explain combination of more than two commodities. Why this fails to explain combination of more than two commodities? If I want to show the third commodity, then I have to make diagram like this. And for this, we have to use the mathematics. This will be a 3D diagram, and for 3D diagram, we have to use mathematics for the explanation, which will make the indifference curve more complex. So this was all about today's topic. what is indifference curve and the properties of indifference curve.